Mm, when the lights and just enjoy yourself. Hello, so it's Psylocke back at it. It's been about 2 weeks since I had my last vlog and stuff, and a lot has transpired besides just being bald and just shaving it off, and you know, I'm losing my hairline anyway, but whatever. I still have a lot of like a lot of self love and mostly mostly you know been more in a more healthier mental space, um, and been trying to like get myself on the right track as you know I've just been like a little more fidgety. I was curious. Yeah, I've been recovering through like a breakup and trying to get the light. Recovering through a breakup and trying to clear my head. Honestly, yeah, you can see I'm like pretty fine, but I still go through my emotions and stuff, and I definitely have a lot of like things to process. Uh, this was uh, kind of like this was like coming back to form for me as I've stepped away from making any type of videos, but I was actively still painting and drawing, but obviously, I also took some time to stop as well. I think very much after all the CC might can't help but fidget a little bit as like after going through the breakup and getting back home. As you can see, I'm in a different environment. I'm not in nature as much, but obviously in the future I'll still want to go to nature and everything. I'm in a place now where I'm like recovering now and uh, no longer homeless. I decided to go back to my parents. It was for the best to build myself back up and to find myself again. And now I've just also been just actively looking for a job, but I still obviously, for the first and foremost, been you know obviously wanting to still continue doing art, and that being my main like that's the one thing that gives me like joy and happiness. Like no matter how many like careers I change and stuff, I think a career in the arts and being able to just being able to express myself in a creative way without having to you know be in like a specific type of mood is just of like having to just work and everything is just something that I'm just like, yeah, I'm not. This just doesn't fit me at all. So no matter how many times I try to step away from it, I always seem to want to go back to it. And the more I've been doing it, the shorter the time frame for me to just want to do it. Like, how do I say it? I gotta like rephrase that. Like, basically, I used to always want to do art. Like when I was like a little bit like younger, I still feel like I'm like that 16, 17-year old kid that just like like, but I used to take like months because I had just like depression, so I used to just take months away from wanting to do art or anything, and then after like a long time, the months, that's when I started feeling myself again, being better and doing art. But the time frame for that, it seems like it just gets shorter and shorter, which I feel like is a positive, you know, especially if you want to do something that you really want to do, like, and you have that passion and that love for it, you just end up just like coming back to it. And I just kept coming back to it, and the shorter it got, like to where I'm aware, like 16 minutes, well, not 16 minutes, but um, that was my dad yelling. That was distracting me. But like the short amount of time is like from 2 weeks away, or I'm a week away from it. But then I have that determination to build myself to come back to it. And sometimes it's the things that I watch, the people that I watch, the people who are in different in the same similar like field of wanting to do stuff like that creatively, gardening, and just being a free spirit. That is something where I'm at, where I'm like, I can do all these things too, but also balance that too, where I'm not just in one mood of one moment or mood of like life where, oh, it just has to be this soul sucking thing. And I always just, it just keeps coming back to myself too. Um, like, yeah, and I kept like, I was sometimes I'm spiritual too, and sometimes I get those messages like something's like 2025, or I also just knew also just the fact of like things were going to be a little more shaken up and chaotic and kind of move me out of the situation that I was in with the person who I was with, and when the other people who were there too, like the shakeup was of the end of June and stuff, and I say it was very spiritual, but also just I also just knew in my heart that things were just gonna end as well, so that I felt like it was just gonna end and something was gonna change. Something had to change, but it wasn't so much that I wanted stuff to change, right? It was more like, oh, shit's got about to change, and sure enough, here I am. And it's just the transformation. And honestly, I'm very thankful that I'm still alive to be able to pursue and do the things that I want. And I've been learning a lot. And it's funny that as soon as I left, as soon as that decision for me to leave, and as soon as things were shaken up and I was moved into a completely different direction, that's when all the spiritual stuff, like my freaking For You page, I wasn't even looking for it. I was just like, felt so like out of it. So like the energy just felt like so rough. And and it's funny because it just feels like such a shift, because it's like the old people who still try to like mess with me, and I don't mean like in a bad way, but like, it could also be a bad way too. But the people who try to still come around to me, very not only like the my childhood friends, I consider them, people I've known since I was seventh grade have come to me, and they were like, "Oh wow, they're out." They're in like different modes. One of them is a YouTuber. Shout out to him. I believe his like channel is called Sci Life, SIAH story or life. I know he changes his stuff a lot, but he's a really good YouTuber, and he's really good into the cinematic aspect of it. I'm thinking of debating into it, but I don't know. I'm kind of just flowing into my own direction, whatever like suits my fancy as a creative. You know, taking charge of that. That's important. But yeah, it's like hanging out with him, and then hanging out with Kieran, his brother. That's what his how he goes by. He does recolors anime panels and stuff, and another childhood friend. I'm using the codes, Black Ace, because obviously private and everything. So he, I don't know, he just kind of works, but he does like some, streaming and stuff. I'm just like, what wakes me up in the morning. I realize like that's just creativity. Even if I didn't want to do photography that much anymore, or if I ended up having to pique my interest up again, I just want to do stuff creatively. And this drawing, I really does test the mental, and I'm starting to realize like, yeah, it's not all just from the mind. Sometimes some things come to my mind and I'm able to just execute it, and I just like want to get that. And then some things I just look up and get inspired by. I always preferred the latter of just having my imagination, but I guess you can't just always be realistic, and you get inspired by things outside of in the world. So that that is something that I really I feel like I also in a way liberated myself through the art, because I expressed a lot of things that I was going through while I was just out there homeless, and with a partner which I didn't feel the most connected to anymore. And I mean, I wasn't perfect either. I cheated in a relationship, and you know we were. didn't really work out as or be compatible as much. But I can't say it was all bad either. Like, I'm being like this is like for real, like me actually like saying the things. I mean, there are some things won't obviously say because it's private, and I also do respect their privacy and their life. Even despite all the stuff that we went through, and it's just mostly you know now is a time where I just do feel like if I am a little more isolated or if I need to take the time for myself, then this is fine. You know, I've definitely grown a lot from that whole year, 2023, and just going through everything that I went through. And I still have to deal with some things, that I still have to, you know, from my consequences, from my actions, back from then. So, but I'm ready to like move forward and really challenge myself to do something for me for once. Take care of myself, and that's something important. And I'm definitely not nowhere near in the for the relationships and stuff. Uh, it's raining a little hard. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me. But uh, yeah, I was just really gonna just actually like take responsibility for my own life and my own actions, everything that I wanted to do, and I just knew like I was just feel like I was, we were both holding each other back, and I really wanted to do certain things, and I will say it wasn't all bad, right? Because I also learned a lot. I learned how to like survive in a way. I learned how to um, be strong on my own when I needed to be. I also learned to go for what I really wanted to in life, and life is short. And I also noticed that I don't need to also be. I don't also need to be in a tizzy of like certain things, like to not hold it. Hold on, guys. All right, that should be better. Should be better. It's getting a little loud, so yeah. And as well as continuing, like yeah, like just learning to just be to myself, and I think I just even though I try to do the old things, the certain things that I try to do, like hooking up or whatever. Like you think that, oh man, I could do that again, or but no, it doesn't fit me. It's like it's better, Even I feel good when I, just kind of be to myself and allow myself to actually heal and trust the process, and let Mama Cosmos guide me, ancestors and everything. But yeah, I didn't want to like make this like too crazy. This felt really good to actually just have something to talk about that was like, you know, a personal thing. But uh, I do want to show like a little bit of my art, a little bit like of the stuff that I remember like drawing. Some things I do. Um, yeah, this was like the last thing I remember drawing. That it's like the few couple of days before I left. I came back home, but yeah, this is like something that I drew. Yeah, I call this the Royal Caribbean. It's probably one of my favorite new things I've drawn as of late, and I definitely want to like get more materials to eventually start, drawing. I'm thinking either, keeping. I always kind of been drawing this type of like female. Well, there's always different colors for skin and everything, but yeah, you could just see like I signed it too. You put the Psylocke right there. Yeah, that's how I just spell my artistic name. So this is pretty cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, and from last time, bald boy. Yeah, I guess it fits now because I'm bald. So bald. I said bald boy, not bald boy, but you know. either or, right? Wiggle or flowing. And I knew I was like, this was like the character which I think I'm gonna replace my. I know I was drawing the bunny character. He was a lot, but in which it represents more like a realizing is more like a manifest when sad or emotional or feeling stuck. But then I have this character that was like the outline of it. I was drawing. Call that character Moxie May. That's like more of the female side or just a different type of like energy. And I was drawing something here too. Didn't get a chance to, but yeah, I do want to start drawing more and starting off at least. Well, yeah, this was still my favorite one too, right here. I drew this right here. Yeah, that was the shit right there. Like, the bunny character, like, it was supposed to be like a completely different like thingy, but it ended up kind of kind of evolving into stuff. And then this was actually Moxie May's debut. See, I had her like dark purple out, but I realized I wanted to make her like more lighter purple. And sometimes I don't really draw on the notebook. Sometimes I just draw on my phone because I do a pixel art app and just draw there because sometimes it's just more convenient because I'm on my phone most of the time and I never really like but draw on here. But I think painting some of these characters and painting the infinite stories that I always just say I have infinite stories to tell, and they are in various shapes and forms. So I definitely want them to get out in that form, and it'll be cool. I think I got this because I kind of wanted to spray paint on a shirt. I got like a blank black shirt. I probably should have gotten black spray paint because it probably would have been more versatile for like you know if I wanted to do some type of like graffiti like on a canvas or something. But you know, yeah, it was just kind of like that and everything. And I had this whole like idea like the bunny. Bunny was kind of taking over a lot. This I kind of just was on a hill and everything. But I think if I like to redraw and repaint, or like redraw and repaint some of these a lot. You kind of just find the more full potential. It was a random, yeah. This was just like something that I just was like, And this cover, obviously, I actually made it, and it was something that I was like, I was like, you know what? I wanted a cool cover. I didn't want to just a blank like generic cover for the, and it's like slipping off. But yeah, I didn't want like a. It was perfect actually. I could make this up. I didn't want like a blank cover for my like my notebook. I've always kind of just defaulted everything, but it's like, hey, I can actually like customize and stuff. And it says Psylocke Arts. I was like originally the name for like the channel and everything, and places where I wanted to just have my art at. But yeah, just Psylocke Arts had the heart, had the all that, had the Polaroid, the camera. I was listening. The reason why I have Danger Doom was Danger Doom, or is it? Yeah, it's Danger Doom with the mouse, like Danger Mouse and Doom. I was listening to that. I think one of the songs came up was Sofa King or Sofa King and Aqua Teen Hunger Force and all that. And then I just ended up listening to the album, and as I was listening to the album, that's what made me like draw the rest of like. That's what made me draw that, and then I just got more inspired to draw everything. And then of course my iconic triple bump heart. This one means a lot to me. Like, this has a lot of like meaning, and a lot of people just be like, "Oh, it's just a heart with an extra bump," but it's like, it has the eye and everything. It has like a lot of like symbolism to it, and then they just have like the obviously you have like the bunny. He pops in here. He's saying no. It was stories. So many stories like behind like certain stuff. And I want to get more into like more to why I have like a meaning of why it's important. I'm gonna fix that notebook after this. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. It's Psylocke. I want to do more art vlogs. I want to do more just vlogs in general. getting myself back into being comfortable, not worrying about being perfect, because this is my channel and this is a way of expressing myself. So stay artsy, stay classy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you, and just be blessed. Oh, we'll pause.